Okay, yeah, I can see the live notification. Cool. Um, Hi, folks. To anybody who is just like camping the page, or to our VOD audience, we're having some trouble tonight because Cecelia is in charge of the stream, and Cecelia is not normally in charge of the stream. I am at my parents' house in New Hampshire, so I'm working entirely out of my cell phone, and I can't be running a StreamYard room. Um, it's
I know.
Thursday night. We don't have a super clear plan tonight. Normally, what we do before these streams is we jump in a Discord call and like talk about what we're going to do and what we plan on talking about. And tonight, my mic wasn't working on Discord. We tested it over here, so we knew it was working over here, but it didn't work on Discord. So I don't know why that was the case, but I was not able to contribute to the planning conversation at all. I believe we've got some decks of cards.
We have so many decks of cards.
We do.
I would also like to say shout out to my TikTok chat for immediately letting me know I can't find the Twitch stream. You're not live. So much TikTok.
Thank you, Cecilia's Twitch or Cecilia's TikTok chat.
Thank you, TikTok.
Which just means that we picked the most apt title for this stream.
I said what I said, and I meant it. It might be a problem. It's going to be fine now because we're live now. It's just we were talking to ourselves as if we were live for a solid 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And both of us were like, why don't we see the live number?
Also, if at any point you hear the Buffy theme song, it is not because today is the 25th anniversary of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It's because my food is here. But I'm going to pretend it's because today is the 25th anniversary.
Appropriate. Good choices. Yes. So we have many. We don't have a plan. I looked at the TikTok news this week, and nothing was particularly wild. I did read a story about chief influence officers becoming a new position that people have at companies. And it made me want to throw my phone on the subway. And I pretty much got done with reading any kind of like marketing and or TikTok news at that point.
Interesting.
It's interesting.
I am going to get up and go shut the door that my niece opened right before we started streaming. I'll be right back.
Yeah, right. Like, we definitely need more C-suite executives. That's absolutely what every company needs, is additional C-suite executives to like really make things run right. I'm kind of like done with it. It's a bit of an honorary position. They noted that like Prince Harry is a CIO, but not like chief investment officer, chief like influence or inspiration officer at a company. And it's like, so this is an honorary position, right?
So basically,
like a real job.
Is, people are hiring human mascots.
Yes.
For their company.
Is that not what a CEO is?
I mean, I assume that CEOs have to like sign documents periodically.
Yeah, like the Queen, like a mascot.
But like this feels more like Tony the Tiger, where you just kind of show up and you're like, "You're great,
you're great," and then you leave, and that's your whole job. It's very nice. I feel like I need to actually finish that article, but I started reading it and it was just pretentious enough that I was like, no. I went physically into my workplace today, so this is also my like intolerance of corporate America is just at a peak in this moment.
Oh no.
Also, hello TikTok chat, I love you, but if you haven't been here before, I am live over on Twitch, and I will not be paying attention to you for the evening. But thank you so much for telling me we weren't live. Micah, would you care to haul out a deck of cards?
So I know normally we do dead stuff, but I think we've actually exhausted my dead stuff deck. So I'm hauling out the pop culture party deck instead, where we just kind of get unhinged about pop culture references.
I did also receive a deck of cards from a company because I'm an influencer, and it is strictly for couples, which does mean that I
really
feel
want
like
to do that one.
I want to do it as like fandom pairings. Like you have to answer it as a fandom pairing.
Like, I just feel like as a group of people, we are now in each other's business enough at this point that, like, yeah, any of these questions that come our way, we might actually have an answer.
Right?
They're called Better Together. It is actually quite cute. We went through like half the deck, but we were just.
I don't know if you guys.
Huh?
I don't know if you guys were looking at the live stream green room chat while I didn't have audio, and you explicitly told me that would be the only way you'd be able to tell what I was saying. But one of the test questions that Cecelia read was, which one of you hogs the blankets? And I feel like I've got the right answer to that one, which is it's definitely Micah, the only one who's ever like hogging blankets literally on stream.
Listen, you're not wrong. Except for the fact that, like, that would be true if my cat weren't a bigger blanket hog than me. The number of times during the night that I, like, am suddenly without blankets and she has piled them under her as though she is a dragon with a horde is not zero.
I am a remarkably still sleeper. That is in part because my partner thrashes so much we have to have special sheets with straps on the corners of the fitted sheets like they have in hotels.
I think I need those. Because I also
I got them from BB&B. I'm not gonna. They were like not cheap, but you know, I have to fix my bed less than once a day every day.
Yeah, the number of times I wake up where one corner of the bed is just suddenly sheetless.
They have those. They have things to fix that. They're sold for hotels.
Yeah, I'm gonna need to get those too because I wake up with my sheets coming off my bed like every day.
Why is everyone so violent in their fucking sleep? What are y'all do? I go to sleep and that's it. And I wake up and things have not happened around me.
I can't help it if I am a dream warrior and I am kung fu fighting in my sleep.
I have no excuse.
I know. It's because the ADHD doesn't stop just because you're asleep.
Yeah.
You gotta keep going.
Gotta go somewhere.
Gotta keep moving. I feel like I'm just gonna ask the next. Yeah, that's the who hogs the blanket for. What's the next one? What makes you feel good that you wish I did more?
When you recognize that you could be doing something for Toka, but decide not to for the benefit of your mental health.
Yeah.
That.
Excuse me.
And a break.
Everyone leave me the fuck alone.
It feels great. I love that.
I can see the relief on everyone's face when I say things like, I'm not going to do that because I just don't have the capacity to. And I can literally on everyone's face in the call go like, oh, thank God.
So true. We're all like, I'm so proud of her. I'm so proud.
I've actually never heard of delegating and I don't know what that means. The fact that I'm having to do this at work right now, absolutely wild. Because I'm training my replacement, so she has to take on tasks. Because otherwise, how will she learn? But every time I hand off a task, I'm like, do I need to sit behind her and make sure she's doing it? I don't understand how to delegate.
I'm like,
the answer is just do it.
This, so it feels like I could have just done it.
Right?
That's me with like one of my jobs, except for the fact that I've gotten so tired of people needing me to hold their hand through things that I'm like, here are the resources and the videos to learn how. You can ask me questions, but you need to learn because unlike my predecessor, I will not be holding your hand every time you need to make an update.
But what if you just held their hand the whole time?
I mean, this is what some of them are used to. And I'm like,
no, thank you.
What if I made you a detailed tutorial with pictures and videos?
There you go.
Hey, I'm back. My mom needed to get my niece clothes to go to sleep.
Or something, whatever. It's fine.
You know, domestic stuff. It's fine.
Here we go. What do you think I'd say is your most attractive quality? Just gonna throw all these cards.
That feels like a card I refuse to answer because we're not saying nice things about each other. That's gross.
I mean, I think that what you would say is psychic damage.
Your capacity for dealing psychic damage is admirable and something I'm like a little frightened of, and also something that like I simply at this point in my life cannot live without. Like this is one of my what do I do if I go a whole day without being psychic damaged by TX Watson? I don't really know. It's just like part of my routine at this point is like Watson says something that either makes me reflect deeply upon my life and my choices, makes me reconsider how I have thought about something for years, or says something that makes me want to drive to Massachusetts just to punch them in the arm and then drive back home. These are the only options.
Be a longer drive this time because I am in New Hampshire.
It's true.
Oh, that just means you can pick me up on the way, and then we can both punch.
Oh, God, I'll take a turn, go into Boston, go up to New Hampshire, and then we can both simply punch you in the arm, say nothing else, get back in the car, and leave.
Yeah. Not even introduce yourself to my parents.
Nope, I'd walk right past them. Like I've never seen them.
No context, only punching.
No context, only punching. In a couple's context, this is who's more stubborn. Who is the most stubborn in this room?
It's between the two of you, because like I'm stubborn, but I'm also a people.
I was going to say it was between the two of you.
I was going to say it's between the two of you. So I think perhaps we've reached an impasse.
I feel like we've all just told on ourselves a little bit.
Okay, but like I can point to specific things that I've caved on.
You do cave regularly in a sensible way. Like when it is necessary, you do. Micah, you are more willing to try to fight God in a parking lot and have threatened to do so on many occasions. I understand that I am simply incapable of delegating and will work myself to death. But I regularly am wrong and will just be like, yeah, tell me the actual right answer. So I don't like do that anymore.
Is oppositional defiance disorder considered being stubborn?
Yes.
Okay, it might be me. I still think that like
we all told
them. Yeah, no, I try to keep my stubbornness down to one iteration of pushback because I've been part of too many organizations that get thrown completely off the rails because one fucking detail just becomes an absolute sticking point for somebody.
Yeah. And then everyone falls apart.
Yeah. And I don't want to do that to Toka because I like Toka and prefer for it to keep existing rather than for us to spend extra time trying to pick a name that accurately reflects what we do.
We actually made the decisions both on that and then changing it relatively fast.
Yeah, no, because I didn't push back after you said it'll be fine.
It'll be fine. Don't worry about it. It'll be fine. Do you think that I have been vulnerable in our relationship?
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is very weird.
I think you have, and I think it makes you deeply uncomfortable.
Yeah, every time. Except for the times that there have been a couple of times where it actually has not been uncomfortable. And I'm specifically thinking about the time that we had the conversation about the concept of mourning. Because I did just openly cry for a little while.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you remember that time that I wrote you a letter and you read it on camera and cried?
Yeah, and then I couldn't post the video because I cried.
You did post that video.
No, I post that was private. That was not a public. That was not for public consumption.
We're emotional beings here, and we're very comfortable with it. Clearly.
I'm getting rid of the ones that I know the answers to, and or the ones that are about physical attributes, because
but the ones that you know the answer to, will they be entertaining for us to say the answer in front of a Twitch audience?
No, because it's like, do you think you are a confident person?
Oh yeah, no, that's no.
No. I know what's good for audiences. I am an entertainer. I am the host of this stream. Excuse me.
Withdrawn.
And it's going well. There's been zero.
As I sort through these cards. Oh, what's one superpower you would hate having? I don't want to hear anybody's thoughts. I don't fucking want to hear anybody's thoughts ever.
Agreed. Very much agreed. Unless I can control it.
Like if you can turn it on and off.
Yeah, and also like direct it so that if I'm in a room, I can't hear everyone's thoughts at once. Because for me, I don't want super hearing. I've been too deaf for too long, and I would be so overwhelmed with too many noises.
Sensory overload every second of every day.
Like, no, thank you.
I think flight.
Why?
It's got the worst relationship between like degree to which people are going to think you're a superhero and expect you to act like it versus degree to which it's actually useful. Like, it's like having 100,000 TikTok followers. Like, people think that that's a kind of success that it isn't.
God, they really do.
You took that in a kind of deeper way, and my first thought was, well, yeah, because you don't want to have that many bugs flying in your face like a windshield.
Yeah. No, my main thought when I think about like having a superpower is, can I keep this a secret? Is it going to become like a part of my identity if I ever take advantage of this?
That's fair.
Oh, there's like a couple good ones in a row. I'm lining them up.
I also don't want laser vision. Specifically because I have a temper and would misuse the shit out of it.
I just don't see the utility. There's so many superpowers that don't have a utility beyond, and like this is like the flying problem of like, yes, I can fly. What the fuck do I do with that other than
get to work without having to wait in traffic?
But there's the like outward perception of, yes, you are a superhero, and there's a lot of superpowers that are like that of like, what do you do with your power? And the answer is like basically nothing, but I have it. The only reason I choose like I do not want to hear anyone's thoughts is that I am paranoid enough by myself that I have to spend most of my day telling myself that there is no evidence for the thought that I'm having, that this person thinks that I'm a bad person. And if I had the ability to be listening to people's thoughts all of the time, I would never stop. I would become completely unreachable. I would just only listen to people's thoughts just to confirm my biases. It would make me very paranoid. So I couldn't do it. I know myself. All right.
The power that I want the most is the ability to turn into a a mobile, like self-controlled cloud of gas.
So like, basically you want to be Alex Mack except gas instead of liquid.
I don't know who Alex Mack is.
Oh no, that hurts me.
Okay, lack of knowledge of Alex Mack aside, can you see the cloud of gas? Is it like a cloud?
I imagine it being visible, but like possible to, by force of will, thin enough that it wouldn't really be. Like it would be opaque at the density of my body, and like become more translucent as it is more spread out.
You want to be water vapor is essentially what you're saying.
I mean, I don't picture it quite like that, but yeah, I mean, autonomous, like self-moving water vapor that is like in control of itself. Yeah.
Why?
It is the power that I can think of the most advantages for with the fewest drawbacks.
I mean,
like,
yeah.
Like, how do you kill somebody who can do that? Like, are you going to lock them in a vault? If it is not perfectly airtight, I'll get out.
Yeah.
I can just like go and and by the way, I am assuming that I can do this with objects as well and like my clothes and shit, because I think any power where you're able to like teleportation, invisibility, anything like that where you're not able to do it to objects just makes no fucking sense.
Right. I don't know. I like the whole invisibility trope of just a person walking around and they're invisible and their clothes aren't. Makes me laugh.
I mean, I think that would be. I think that it would be possible to do that, but I think there's no coherent way for invisibility to work apart from on the basis of your narrative self-concept of what is you, and that is going to include clothes when you're comfortable in your clothes.
You're saying words that are too deep in your brain.
No. If you have thought so heavily about this, that I know people have asked you this before. And
no.
Like, the status, what?
I mean, like, I've had this hypothetical, I've like been aware of this hypothetical before. I've seen other people have this conversation. I have strong opinions about it. Nobody's ever asked. I have to volunteer this information.
I mean, I like that you're ready to volunteer the information at any time, and it is such a detailed answer, and this absolutely tracks for you as a person. And like the other thing is like you are completely correct. Like all of this lines up, all of this tracks, all of it makes sense. It just like the concept of it absolutely infuriates me because like essentially like you would have the power to just like expand into the size of the room. You could fill any room with yourself as the gas.
Yeah.
Wild.
Yeah.
I like it.
See,
and I could like go to a bank and then just turn into a fog of gas in the bathroom, like diffuse into the vault, turn a bunch of money into gas, leave with it, and then just have money, and that could be my job.
That's called theft. Your job is theft.
I mean, are we talking
your job?
Like we're talking powers, not being a superhero here. I would be a villain.
You know, I'm over here like, you know what I really want? I just want extra super great reflexes. Because I'm always dropping shit and it'd be really nice to be able to like grab it before it falls on the ground.
Music Mike has asked, 1, have you made a video about this? And 2, would people breathe you?
Oh.
I made a video on my alt account talking about the invisibility and teleportation thing. I'm not sure whether I ever actually posted it because I think I made it in response to in a stitch, but I misinterpreted the stitch and it wasn't actually an answer to the question that the stitch was asking. I haven't talked about the gaseous form stuff. People breathing me. I do think that would be possible because I'm talking about like having control of like still having like physiological control over the movement of the gas. I would be able to avoid that, and I would also be able to like strategically be breathed and then re-solidify as a combat tactic.
To just explode a person from the inside. Great.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Great.
Watson said they were a villain. Okay. This is villain tactics. Okay.
Realizing that like where I thought I was a villain for a very long time, I was wrong.
You were wrong.
A bad egg. I was not quite status.
Just a hooligan, some ruffian on the goddamn street with weird superpowers, some kind of henchman. No, the actual villain is the one who is like, yeah, I'll turn into a gas and then just take all the money and put it in my pockets, and then the money will turn into gas with me, and then I will go home, and that is my job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like a rich person. I would just do what rich people do. I would take money that I don't deserve and just have it and use it to live a life of ridiculous luxury.
Just gonna spend my life fucking with Elon Musk. It's fine.
Yeah, no, that's a big part of what I would spend a lot of my free time doing, is just fucking with billionaires.
I mean, that would be a good
I
time.
don't know if that makes you a villain. That might make you a hero.
I mean, by normative standards, I would be an unambiguous villain. Like, the main people I fought would be like cops and like people who are well within the bounds of the law. Like I would start shit with the kind of people Batman is.
Argue, counterpoint. That doesn't necessarily make you a villain. It simply makes you an anti-hero.
Anti-heroes collaborate with the heroes in spite of difference in political beliefs.
Punisher, technically an anti-hero.
Technically.
And all of his time railing the police force.
There are colloquial uses of the term anti-hero. Punisher, in his capacity as a protagonist of a narrative work, is just a hero. Like, he's the main character, he's the protagonist, he's the hero. He's only an anti-hero when he's a guest in someone else's comic and they are against the thing he values.
I'm just saying, in this day and age, where ACAB is a thing, and where we are talking about eating the rich, you may actually be considered an anti-hero.
I mean, I think that I would be considered a hero by the people who are generally ascribed to villainy. Like Antifa.
I'm forcing us to move on now.
By the way, I would absolutely use a lot of the stolen money just to fund leftist groups.
I know that you would. And this is why it's a bit of a Robin Hood scenario. Okay. What is the worst thing you ever did as a child? I have an answer.
Pass.
What are we considering the age cutoff for child?
I'm gonna say tween. Somewhere in your tweens. Like once you're like 11, you're really capable of like psychological warfare. And at that point, I'm like cutting it off.
Okay. That saves me actually quite a bit.
I convinced my best friend to climb on top of the swing set on the playground because I wanted to see like how far you could see, but I didn't want to go up there. And I knew that she would listen to me because she trusted me. And I was like, it's dangerous to go up there, but I'm not going to do it. So I'm going to make Anna do it. And then Anna climbed up to the top of the swing set and then she fell off and sprained her wrist. Ooh. And she did not snitch on me. And that is how I knew she was my best friend. We had to have been like 6. Because she was small enough that fall from like a regular old swing set, like not even a super high one, was very bad and very frightening. That is the worst thing I ever did. And I didn't get in any trouble for it because she covered for me.
When I was 10, I took several of my younger brother's stuffed animals, used my dad's ties to tie nooses on them and hung them from his ceiling fan and turned it on and waited for him to wake up because he had annoyed me. My brother is 5 years younger than me, so.
Nice. That's fine.
No, just sibling things. It's fine.
Very normal sibling things.
We're great friends now.
Every single time I hear anyone tell me about their siblings, I'm like, thank fuck I was an only child. Thank fucking Christ. Every single time, I'm like, you know what? I'm okay. I'm glad my parents decided against that. I'm really fine. Even though I have so many people that are like, oh yeah, I love my siblings now. It's like, they did so much damage when you were younger.
To be fair, my brother and I like absolutely like traumatized the crap out of each other, but we were also each other's like, when other people were traumatizing us, it was like, okay, this is my safe person.
No. All right. This one says, what is the worst haircut you've ever gotten?
right before my senior like events schedule kicked in, we went to the guy that did my hair, and he put a whole bunch of hot pink in it that I did not ask for, and then cut my bangs to here.
Yes.
It was
I
not.
don't want to answer this one either.
What?
I don't want to answer this one either.
I went in and asked for a pixie cut because I was playing a man in my high school's production of The Music Man. And instead of giving me a pixie cut, they gave me the Kate Gosselin haircut.
Ooh.
Like and because it was like 2008 with like, it was short in the back and like spiked up, and then it was like one long swoop in the front. And I was like, this is not what I requested of you. And they said, this is a lot more feminine. And I said, I'm playing a man in the show, and I asked for this on purpose. And I cried because I looked stupid. And then I went to my mom's hairdresser, who played in a heavy metal band and was therefore like cool to me. And he gave me the goddamn haircut I asked for. Yeah, I did have a couple of days of that haircut though in 2008. Real rough. Very bad. Where is it? What unethical thing do you do regularly? I don't have an answer for this one. I need to think about it.
I work 2 full-time jobs simultaneously so that I don't have to work an actual 80-hour work week.
Yeah, you know what? The unethical thing I do regularly is I am at a full-time job while periodically checking on my part-time job of Toka. I guess that's technically unethical. I don't think of it as unethical.
I personally see it as just, me making use of my 40 hours. Because think about it. When you work a 40-hour week job, how much of that time do you just spend staring at a wall? Email you. Well, now I got 2 jobs I can wait for someone to email me at.
How much time did I spend today talking to my coworkers? Most of it.
Yeah.
Most of my day.
I think the most obvious one I could think of is just shopping at Amazon.
It's true. We're all doing it. What's one thing that you think is fun that your friends do not?
So I really like Jeopardy and any and all quiz-based games. I like quiz-based stuff. My best friend, who is an avid gamer, will not. Gets angry if I even ask him to participate.
What is the point of playing games if not to have at least one winner?
This is what I'm saying. I understand why people like the whole co-op nonsense, but in reality, I need everyone in the room to know that I am better than them. That is why.
How am I supposed to enjoy this game if everyone doesn't know that in my family, Jeopardy is very much a tradition. We would play. There's like a tabletop version of Jeopardy that you can play with your family and friends, and we would play it at my grandma's house. And my Uncle Scott would always win because, in his words, my brain is full of clutter. And the only time it was useful was when we were playing Jeopardy, because he just knows all of the trivia. Like it is a family tradition. That and 2 people disagreeing on a subject and my grandmother telling us to go get the encyclopedia because she was going to look it up. And the only time she looked it up is when she knew she was right. Because when she was maybe wrong, she wouldn't tell us to go look it up, but she wanted to make a point about the Encyclopedia Britannica saying she was correct.
Your grandma and I have that in common. Ugh.
I will say, every time I love Savvy Mazda so much. She has shot down every good, funny idea I have ever had. Because she's consistently like, I do not understand this joke. And I'm like, I need you to roll with me until we get to the end, okay? I need you to trust me. And she does. Like, in her defense, she does. But me doing a parody of Kesha's Hunt You Down while slowly putting Darth Maul makeup on my face, singing about the Obi-Wan TV show that might not happen, but is now happening, thank fucking Christ. That was an idea that Savvy was like, why are you doing this? And I was like, I need you to understand that it's going to be funny when I get there. It's not going to be funny now, but it will be once I'm actually doing it. And this is the story of everything I've ever done. And this is also how I know that like a video idea I have brewing right now is a good idea, because Savvy was like, that's not possible. That seems too much. So I know it's good. It's going to be fine.
I'm sorry.
I was just going to answer the question on the card. I really like playing competitive games very psychologically, in the sense of like manipulating my friends to trick them into making bad decisions. And I have a lot of friends who say that they can handle that and will go into a game saying like, yeah, no, that's cool. That's like, I'm not going to be mad at you about that. That's playing a game. They're lying. They will hold it against me. They will be angry at me for days. It's hard to find friends who can like handle being fucked with in a game and then coming away from that game being like, yeah, we're still friends and I can trust you, like when we are not directly competing.
What games are you playing these kinds of mind games in?
My favorite is Rummy. The one that comes up the most often is Munchkin.
Okay, Munchkin I get, because that's like legitimate gameplay.
I have never in my life gotten to the end of a game of Munchkin. I have only ever gotten to what is definitely about to be the end, and then everyone quits 3 turns into me just fucking with everybody until like the person who was about to win doesn't.
What the fuck is Munchkin?
It's
a fucking disaster.
Okay, so imagine D&D, but without any of the actual storytelling.
Okay.
And think of the most toxic people you've ever heard of involved in D&D, and the way that they talk about the game and the way that they play the game. Munchkin is a card game designed to simulate that the experience of playing D&D like that with those people.
Yes. Like
Jesus.
Like I had a group of friends that we used to play with, and like the favors that would be exchanged for like help defeating monsters and or like not letting someone win were unsavory.
Yeah, I don't want to play that game ever. That sounds fucking terrible.
I don't know, Adventure Time version.
It's also like really sexist. Like there are like specific gender mechanics.
Yes.
What the fuck?
Yeah, but sometimes you have to
like
gender.
Like the thing is, it's that thing where like a parody can only be really good if the person doing the parody really loves the source material.
Mm-hmm.
The people who make Munchkin really do love that kind of gamer.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Okay, so one, I am openly admitting I would never be okay with that. Like you would like preface, and first of all, I would never play Munchkin because you would describe it to me. I'd be like, fuck no, pick something else. Second of all, any game where I am being like slowly messed with the whole time, no. I will absolutely collapse as a person. I will fall.
I once spent a whole afternoon playing Rummy with my friend Eddie, and just like for the first 2 hours, every turn I said, "Hey, you should play the Queen of Hearts," and I knew he didn't have the Queen of Hearts. Most of the time, I had the Queen of Hearts, and then I stopped doing it for about a half an hour, and then at a point when I really needed him to play the Queen of Hearts, and I knew that he had the Queen of Hearts, I just did it one more time, and he was like, "Fuck you," and did it, and then I beat him by like 200 points.
No. Yeah, no, that would be the end of it. That would be the end of it for me. I would say I'm glad that I like have enough self-awareness to be like, we would not be friends after that for like at least a week. I would need a break. Can't do that. Will never do that.
Yeah, no, I really want to play board games with Brennan Lee Mulligan.
That would absolutely mesh. That would probably be great for you. That also seems like a disaster. Like it would be a disaster for me.
I would watch that.
I'd watch it. I'd happily watch it. I would happily watch you play games with other people and slowly pick them apart. Like I would revel in that. I cannot be a part of it.
I would enjoy like doing it like on like a stream or like on Game Changer or some shit, playing with Brennan Lee Mulligan and just actively talking to him about the fact that he is such a big deal in like the world that I live in that he could fully destroy me, and just like explain to him all of the ways that he could abuse his status to win this board game we're playing. Just to try and see if I can like see if that thread exists that I can pull on to get him to be like, actually, maybe the way that I play games isn't okay, so that I can exploit that weakness and win.
Jesus Christ.
The more you talk about this, the more respect I have for you as a person. Because this is fully how I live my life with certain people. Like, not in games, just in actual life.
Okay, see, that's the thing is I do it in games. I don't want to be that person in my real life.
Ever.
Listen, I go to therapy so I don't become a monster.
It's true. It's true.
It's for everyone else's benefit, not really mine.
What is the first thing you hope people notice about you? That you
My hair.
Hope. I know. And I knew that would be your answer.
Is I hope they don't an answer? I don't know. Just
no is what you hope they do. I think I know the answer is that bitch is tall. And I know that is the answer, especially today because I wore 3-inch heels to the office to be like, I'm 6'1", which is a very fun time for me because I like standing over all of my coworkers. Like, I'm superior now. I am in charge.
I mean, living in a society and also living in a large body, that is the first thing that people notice. And that's fine. It is who I am.
We do live in a society. Unfortunately, we are here.
And so,
Micah, I figured that your answer was going to be a bag of teeth.
Listen.
That's what she hopes they notice.
True.
She hopes
wasn't that the question?
Her standing at the end of the lane, jingle jangle in a bag of teeth.
This is my hope and my want for the world. Simply, did you see that bitch with the bag of teeth at the end? What about?
I like the image of it just being a Ziploc bag. Like, it's not a fancy bag. It's just full on just a little kind of a dusty looking Ziploc bag, and you're shaking it.
My roommate's brother came to visit the other day, and I was like sitting on the couch, and he's sitting next to me. They're having a full-on conversation, and I just took a molar out of the bag and handed it to him, no context. I was like, I don't know what to do now. And I was like, yep, that's precisely what I'm aiming for.
I was gonna say I am lucky in that the thing that people notice about me is probably the thing that I hope people notice about me is like, she seems like she could be intimidating. I would like to give off that air in person because I do not need people speaking to me.
So you just want
they will figure it out too quickly.
You want people to look at you and the first thought to be, that bitch looked like she could be from Schenectady.
She looks like she could be from Schenectady. My coworker told me that if our other coworker was in the office that day, that he would have dropped her. And I was like, you are never allowed to say calm down Schenectady to me again after you said that. Never again. Oh, here we go. What small pleasures do you enjoy the most?
When my cat does the big stretch, but when she's on her back, so you just get so many beans.
Oh, the big small pleasures, big stretch. I gain inexplicable and immense pleasure from when I walk down to Central Park and the geese are there. I will come back to the office and be like, guys, the geese were in the pond. I will tell everyone that the geese were in the pond today because I got to see my friends, the geese, because it's the same flock every year. And maybe this is the year I finally make friends with them enough that they'll eat out of my hand like the ones in Schenectady used to. But it's like very hard to do it in the city because people look at you like you are batshit crazy when you're trying to feed the geese in Central Park.
I feel like it takes a lot for the people of New York to look at you like you're batshit crazy.
Me walking out onto the rocks in the pond with bird seed that I've brought from home because I don't want to feed them bread because it's not good for them. I need to actually feed them the bird seed, and holding out my hand to a large Canada goose is enough for New York City, for people in New York City to be like, oh,
That's what's
going on there. Yeah.
I really like just being extremely extra with my ramen preparations. Like I take a great deal of pleasure in making a 50-cent pack of ramen and putting $5 of saffron in it.
That's beautiful and I love it.
That's like a special kind of chaos. That is.
These spices are worth more than the food that they are sitting in.
Like, I respect it. I do. I respect it.
This one says, what is the longest you've ever gone without sleep?
In the 30-ish hours range.
I see Micah calculating.
Do we want to talk about the time I was hospitalized for
outside? Okay, what's the longest you've ever gone without sleep outside of a manic episode? That's its own thing. That's its own thing.
I think
the longest you've ever gone without sleep. 2008.
I would venture to say probably about 4.5 days.
Christ almighty.
But that is nowhere near my longest.
That's too many. That's too many.
I have a sleep disorder.
I fully drop at about 20 hours. I don't even know that I've made it 24. My body gives up. It's always trying to give up. Like, to be fair, my automatic nervous system is not functioning right, and it is always trying to be like, could we please sit down? So it shouldn't be surprising that I get like 20 hours in. It's like, no matter where I am, that is where I will be. But I've also had the experience of like being up way too long, and then my body, like, I pass out. My body forces me to go to sleep in that moment. It's like, rest your eyes, child. So I can't do that anymore because I'm an adult. And it's frowned upon to like pass out on the train or something.
Society and rules, man.
If you were in a witness protection program, what would be your new name and where would you go? And
this seems like a bad question to answer on a live stream.
I was going to say, like, of course, you're going to have to immediately change it. So, you know. make up the fake one, I guess. If I got to choose, because no one gets to choose where they go, you just get placed, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I got to choose where to disappear to forever, I think I would pick. Actually, I don't know. I went into this much more confident that I had an answer than I currently am. Honestly, I've always wanted to go to New Orleans, and I feel like I would vibe with it as a city because it's weird. I would just stay there. Just stay there forever.
I think about New Orleans all the time as a place that culturally I would probably really enjoy. However, the climate of New Orleans,
It is swampy.
I would simply die.
It's extremely swampy and very hot. I would be a little miserable, but I would be like Tennessee Williams miserable, which is the kind of miserable I can take.
Yeah.
Because I quite literally have a pin on my bag that says I don't want realism, I want magic. Like that is the Tennessee Williams minds. I could just live in that. If I were in witness protection, I'd already be like half in that anyway, because it would be like, I don't know, I'm just like in this fantasy life that isn't even real. I'd already be halfway there. Yeah, no. It's sticking with New Orleans.
I would take the name Guybrush Threepwood and move to Monkey Island.
I'm sorry, could you repeat the name?
Guybrush Threepwood?
Okay. You're right.
I don't know that my brain is ever going to be able to process those sounds and come out with something that is correct. So
that's fine.
Tell me about Monkey Island.
Oh, it's an island full of point-and-click adventure games.
No!
I love that you're like, if I were in witness protection, put me into the internet. Just throw me right in there.
Oh no, Monkey Island's like 80s or early 90s. This is like pre-internet
Put me on
gaming.
a CD-ROM.
Throw me on a CD-ROM on a floppy disk. Just embed me in there. No.
I am concerned that my food is not here yet.
It's never coming, Micah.
It's not.
You're never going to have dinner.
And my poor roommate is texting me pizza emojis, and I'm like, it's not here yet. I don't know what to tell you.
What is the nicest compliment you've ever received? I'm making you think about nice things, Micah.
Ow!
My anthropology professor at the first college I went to, Northern Essex, wrote me a recommendation letter for a scholarship. And she sent it to me afterwards because she said that she really wanted me to like see what she had said about me, because she wanted me to know what like how she felt about my performance in class. And one of the things that she said in the letter is that I could and should just have been also teaching that class I was in.
That is an excellent compliment.
And that she saw me more as a peer than as a student.
Oh, yes. I have one that I received from a child and one that I received from a professor. These are my only two. It was the last show that I did in college. Our department was closing, so we were all doing multiple things. So I was painting the set and in the show and the dramaturge for the show, which was an ungodly amount of work because it was an original production. So I was like editing the script and inserting the new pages and then learning the new pages and then figuring out what we were going to do the set to look like for those new pages. Like it was a fucking nightmare. And we finished the show, and I was probably the most tired that I have ever been. And the director like wrote me a thank you note, but then also pulled me aside and said, one, I'm not good at writing down my actual feelings. If you hadn't been involved with this, none of this would have worked at all, and you were the only one who reined me in the entire time. And two, you could go and do whatever you wanted and you will be fine and happy and successful. And I was like, no one has ever told me that I could just like go do what I wanted and I'd be okay. I was like, I can only do these couple of things. And Chad was like, no, you could do whatever you wanted and you'll be okay. Do whatever you want. That was a good ass compliment. Chad. Why does his name have to be Chad? We made fun of him so much for it.
I am honestly struggling to think of one.
Looks like we're gonna all start to have to compliment Micah.
Don't. It makes me very uncomfortable. Don't like it. I had a former employee write me a letter when I was leaving the company that was essentially thanking me for being a good manager. And that felt like a good thing because I feel like I've always had shitty managers that I've hated. And so that was kind of a nice knowing I wasn't a bad person, at least to this one individual. That's all I got, other than Savvy read a poem of mine recently and said that she thinks it's finished, and I don't think I've ever finished a thing in my life.
I cannot tell you how much someone reading something you've written and like workshopped and agonized over and them being like, yep, that's done. Holy shit, you think so?
It's like,
really?
I believe my immediate response was, that's a terrifying sentence. I don't know what to do with that. So yeah.
I think that's a nice place to end the stream tonight, children.
Yeah,
we did it.
We did it.
It didn't crash. It started rough. Didn't crash and burn though.
It's true. It's true. We went live.
We did the things. Have I posted a single thing in the chat? No, absolutely not. So I'm gonna maybe do that. Who is to say?
Who knows?
Is that the command?
If you would like to support the work that we do at Toka, you can do so by joining our Patreon and becoming a patron. We have different levels of patronage to fit your lifestyle.
And if you want to know what the things that we are doing with that money, well, great news. We just had 4 excellent roundtable talks in conjunction with the Lincoln Center for
for Applied Ethics.
Thank you. The Lincoln Center for Applied Ethics at Arizona State University. And the money went to paying all of our fantastic panelists. Those videos, I believe, at this point are all up on Arizona State University's YouTube channel if you didn't get to go catch them. And I would highly recommend that you do, because every single person on those panels was wonderful. And I still can't believe we actually did it. And that's it for tonight. And we will see you all on Monday. I believe I'm hosting again.
I will say we are already talking about the next batch of talks, and we will need money to pay those panelists too. So please back us on Patreon.
Please back us on Patreon. That is it for the evening. We will see you on Monday. Good night.
Good night, everybody.